hear her that. Oh yeah.
Smile.
Yeah.
Ủa hết rồi. Đâu có ghế, đâu có đầy ghế đâu.
Please join us in congratulating the UCLA Arts graduating class of 2024. Thank you. Please be seated.
Ready.
We at the UCLA School of the Arts and Architecture acknowledge the Gabrielino Tongva peoples as the traditional land caretakers of Tovangar, which encompasses the Los Angeles Basin and Southern Channel Islands. As a land grant institution, we pay our respects to the Hanukvitan, our ancestors, Ahihirom, our elders, and Eo Hinken, our relatives, relations, past, present, and emerging. I now present Lionel Popkin, Interim Dean of the UCLA School of the Arts and Architecture.
Good evening. My name is Lionel Popkin, and I am the Interim Dean for the UCLA School of the Arts and Architecture. My warmest welcome to everyone joining us here tonight at the LA Tennis Center, our soon-to-be graduates, the class of 2024. And all of the friends, family, loved ones who come from near and far to mark this important milestone in our graduates' lives. This has been a particularly complex spring for all of us at UCLA and continues to be a charged moment for our world. While today is about celebrating our graduates, in a community like ours that values free expression and free speech, there may be moments during the program in which some members of our community endeavor to share their points of view. That is okay, and is, in fact, what we as artists are obligated to do. We should keep in mind that someone may express a point of view that is different from our own, and allowing for this difference is part of what makes us a strong community. We will absolutely allow personal expressions as long as they do not disrupt our ceremony, prevent speakers from being heard, or interfere with students crossing the stage. If this does happen, unfortunately, we will ask individuals to refrain from disruptive behavior, and if the disruption persists, those individuals may be asked to leave. Thank you for your understanding and for respecting these common rules of conduct so that we can ensure today's ceremony stays focused on celebrating our graduates. Now, as an artist myself, trained as a choreographer and a performer, I know all too well that there is a paradoxical truth to the role of the artist. We can envision the world we hope for, and are then all too often confronted by the difficult task of how to bring that future into the present moment. You as a class know this all too well. Your journey today demanded unwavering perseverance. Many of you began your academic careers with us during a global pandemic. and are now culminating at a particularly challenging time of unrest for UCLA and other college campuses across the world. For those of you on a 4-year track who graduated from high school in 2020, you and your loved ones likely didn't get to experience an in-person high school graduation, but you get to experience one today. Not only have all of you navigated through this unprecedented terrain, but you've also done all the hard work necessary to complete your respective degree programs. That is no small feat in the best of times, and even more so now. While uncertainty has been a defining feature of these past several years, what I know for certain is that your honesty and creativity have not only enriched our campus community, but have also helped us think critically about and make more sense of our complex, ever-changing world, which I believe you all are going to make a better place as you chart your paths from this day forward. In 2011, scholar, dance maker, and UCLA Arts alumna Rosemary Candelario was one of our student speakers at commencement. As I have been thinking about what I would say to you tonight, I was reminded of a question that Rosemary posed to the class of 2011, all those 13 years ago, and I thought I might share it with you now. Quote, "Whether we are dancers, designers, architects, artists, or scholars, our respective practices mandate that we develop and hone our artistic voices. The central question before you today is this: how will you use your voices now that it is time to fulfill your responsibilities as artist citizens who are graduates of this university?" End quote. Rosemary is now an associate professor at UT Austin's Department of Theater and Dance and has gone on to use her voice as an award-winning author, choreographer, artist, and educator. So class of 2024, only you can decide how to use your voice. I encourage you to use it well and often, and with wisdom, to push boundaries, embrace new opportunities, ask questions, challenge yourselves and others. Ask yourself, just as Candelario asked of her classmates in 2011, what will you say and how will you say it when it is your moment to speak? Does it matter to you who you inspire, who you offend, who you bring with you, and who you turn away? When is it important to include others, and when do you choose to draw the line and close the door? Yours are the voices of our future. I know that out of this difficulty we have experienced, you have something very important to say, each of you, in your own way, in your own voice. And you will make that change, not only for your future, but for all of us. I know your path has not been easy, but I hope it has been at least educational, made you more resilient, and equipped you with tools that will help you excel in the next chapter of your lives. I'm going to pause for a moment and ask you to please be quiet so that the people on stage can speak.
Bắt đầu một cái phải đó, sau lưng.
Out of respect for your fellow graduates, please follow the commencement rules of conduct and refrain from disrupting today's celebration.
I look forward to experiencing the work, the art, and the ideas you will bring into the world. So on behalf of the entire faculty and staff of the UCLA School of Arts and Architecture, our heartfelt congratulations to the class of 2024. It is now my distinct honor to introduce this year's keynote speaker. Amir Fala is an artist and alumnus of the Department of Art's MFA program. His work spans painting, sculpture, stained glass, and textiles, all characterized by vivid, saturated colors, dense patterns, and layered imagery. Amir's vibrant, intricate compositions reveal layers of meaning, inviting us to explore the complex connectivities within the human experience, inspiring new perspectives and renewed hopes for our collective future. His work embodies the ethos of our school, an ethos committed to asking questions, to recontextualizing accepted norms, rethinking the past, sometimes inventing the new, always provoking thoughtful discourse, and at its core, seeking to make the world a better place through work deeply grounded in a commitment to social justice. He has exhibited extensively in solo and group exhibitions across the United States and abroad, and in 2023, Amir returned to UCLA for his critically acclaimed exhibition, The Fallacy of Borders, at the Fowler Museum. It was the first solo presentation of his work in a museum in Los Angeles. Born in Tehran, Amir draws on a range of traditions and finds inspiration in intersections of cultures from around the globe here in his adopted city of Los Angeles. Working fluidly across genres and media, his art grapples with themes of inheritance and appropriation, personhood and objecthood, diaspora and homeland, challenging viewers to question and transcend the boundaries and borders that separate people. Class of 2024, if you reach into the yellow bags that we left for each of you on your seats, you will find a t-shirt designed especially for you and your class by Amir on the occasion of your graduation from UCLA Arts. We are grateful to Amir for helping us create this special gift and know that you will enjoy it and hope you wear it well. Amir, it is fantastic to have you here with us today. So with no further delay, please join me in welcoming Amir Fala.
Good evening. Thank you, Dean Potkin, and good evening, graduates, parents, professors, and school staff. As a fellow Bruin, it's wonderful to be back on campus and to celebrate this special day with all of you. Addressing you all today weighed heavily on me because so much has happened this past year. How would I address a group of graduates about the futures that they are about to launch without mentioning all the chaos and strife that has taken place on this campus and in campuses all over the country? How would I impart a sense of hope to you while acknowledging that the circumstances that we find ourselves in today? I realized that no matter how hard I tried to thread that needle, I would come up short. Instead, I've decided to speak from the heart and share my personal experiences, hoping you find something meaningful in them as you start your own creative journeys. Many of you started college during a global pandemic full of confusion and uncertainty. Among the chaos, millions of people died. There was horrific wildfires, racial violence, and political upheaval. What a daunting way to start your college years. You all adapted to the new rules of life overnight and rose to the occasion, even when the adults around you couldn't agree on anything and made countless mistakes. In hindsight, it may feel like it wasn't a big deal, but I can assure you that overcoming so many back-to-back obstacles and still graduating today is an incredible accomplishment. I'm truly in awe of your resilience and determination. As you embark on this next chapter, the challenges and global issues you face may feel daunting. I can relate to that feeling. My life started during a time of turmoil and uncertainty. I was born in 1979 during the Islamic Revolution in Iran. It was filled with chaos and violence. Shortly thereafter, a hostage crisis began that lasted 444 days, followed by a bloody war between Iran and Iraq. My first childhood memory was during an air raid where Iraqi planes were bombing Tehran. I was 4 years old. We evacuated our high-rise building in the dead of night and huddled together in fearful anticipation. I could hear the planes flying above, but couldn't see them. Half asleep, I remember miming a gun with my tiny fingers and pretending to shoot the planes down, unable to fully grasp the gravity of the situation. Fearing for our safety, we fled Iran and sought refuge in America, despite the irony that the Iraqi planes bombing us were supplied by the United States. We arrived with a few suitcases and $72 and started over. Through hard work and determination, my parents rebuilt our lives. I remember a lot of hardship, but also remember an incredible amount of joy and happiness. Slowly, things got better. My parents' resilience had a deep impact on me. Later on in life, when times were hard, I would remember what we went through, and my current problems would pale in comparison. Instead of hindering me, my early life experiences served me well as I began navigating the world and finding my way as an artist and an adult. Graduates, your perseverance will be essential as you move to this next stage of life. Your resilience helped you get through a pandemic and multiple periods of civil unrest and protests. During it all, you managed to get to the finish line. You are prepared to move forward and tackle the new challenges that life throws at you. Let's give you all a round of applause. We all know that campus life hasn't been smooth sailing as of late. Schools around the world have seen students protesting for a ceasefire and for their schools to divest and not profit from war. For generations, student activism has been the cornerstone of social justice movements. This is not a new phenomenon. Just ask your parents. Students from all backgrounds have come together to advocate for change and are often met with over-policing and violence. Here on campus, a violent mob attacked our students while both campus security and police stood by for hours without intervening. Over the last 2 months, police have been called again and again on students and faculty. Some of the very students that are here with us today were arrested and are having their degrees withheld because they protested to end war. College should be a place where vigorous debate and dialogue are encouraged, not silenced. Anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and other forms of bigotry have no place on school campuses here or elsewhere. The media likes to focus on bad faith actors and a handful of clickbaity xenophobes in order to paint all protesters in a negative light. But that is not the reality. The truth is far more simple and human. Students do not want to see more loss of innocent lives with no end in sight. They have seen prior generations fund countless wars with no end game and are asking for a better way. Nobody wins in wars. I know from personal experience. My family lost everything due to war. The innocent civilians lose. The hostages whose interests are not being served lose, and the soldiers who will have to deal with a lifetime of trauma and regret lose. Nobody wins in wars. Violence begets violence, and the only way towards peace is the firm commitment to equality and equity for all. The only way we can progress is to give everyone the dignity and the respect that they deserve, regardless of which side of a border they live on, which God they pray to, and who they choose to love. Despite the turmoil we're currently experiencing, I have hope in our collective future. I look at the brilliant, compassionate, and forward-thinking class of 2024 to point out the errors of past generations and forge a new path. And if fixing the state of the world isn't a tall enough order, you all also get to navigate an exciting career in the arts. The arts are often viewed with confusion and criticism and treated as a nice to have instead of the vital part of society that they are. A life in the arts is a complex path. Whether you're an artist, designer, architect, scholar, or dancer, there are no shortcuts and there are multiple routes one can take. You may find immediate success, or you may take decades to find your lane. The good news is that unlike many careers, time is on your side. The more time you spend on your craft, the better it will get. With each year, you will refine your voice, you will find the nuance in the moments that others ignore, and you will master the art of uncovering truths that are hidden in plain sight and often overlooked. I came to UCLA full of energy and excitement in 2002. I knew exactly where I wanted to be, but didn't know how to get there. I spent 3 years studying with some of the most brilliant artists of our time. All of my art heroes walked through my studio doors and shared their insights and wisdom with me. Imagine Matthew Barney coming into your studio to see your paintings, furrowing his brow and saying, "Have you ever thought about making sculpture instead?" Well, I can because it happened to me. Not exactly the reaction I was hoping for. I graduated without fanfare and watched as many of my peers found immediate success. They were getting wined and dined by the art world elite while I toiled away painting in a spare bedroom. It took almost a decade to build any momentum, and I will tell you that it is still hard today. Each of you will begin this next chapter in your careers when you leave campus. Some of your classmates will find success with ease, some will struggle at first and eventually find their way, and some may even decide that this path isn't for them and change directions. There is no right or wrong. The only way to find what life will bring next is to put one foot in front of the other and begin. It can be a frustrating and confusing endeavor. It certainly was for me. But when I look back at my journey as an artist with all its doubts, struggles, twists, and turns, there's no other path I would rather take. I still wake up excited to make art every day and fall asleep dreaming about it. We have the rare occupation where winning the lottery just means getting a bigger studio and being more selective about the projects that we work on, because creating is our lifeblood. This is not the reality for everyone working a 9-to-5. With all the challenges that await, I want to share with you today certain things that have helped me along the way. Your peers are part of your creative community. Collaborate with them, share studio visits, critique one another's works, and share skill sets. Many of your classmates will be going through the same things that you are. Be each other's resources and confidants. Share your connections. Many people hold their connections close to their vests, thinking that recommending a curator, collector, client to appear will mean losing out on an opportunity. However, many of the wonderful opportunities that I've had come from recommendations from friends. I make it a point to go out of my way to promote fellow artists whose work I admire. I bring collectors and curators to their studios, introduce them to galleries, and promote their work. Others' success will never be an impediment to yours. If someone helps you get a sale, makes a connection for you, or brings you an opportunity, thank them. Don't forget those who help you along the way and reward them with praise. Cash doesn't hurt either. Remember that this is a small community, and what goes around comes around. Become literate in business. Most creatives forget that they are operating a small business. Get a good accountant, read the fine print and contracts, show up to meetings on time, keep track of your clients or collectors, and speak to other entrepreneurs. You can be as creative as you want in your studio, but knowing how to handle a business will be a skill set that will come in handy on multiple fronts. Being savvy in business doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice the integrity of your work. If anything, it will ensure its longevity. Be humble and kind.
That's a very good point.
It seems like a no-brainer, but nobody likes to work with a jerk. You may be hot today, but tomorrow you may have a career lull. If people like you, it will give you another shot. It will invite you to collaborate with them and recommend you to others. Create your own opportunities. Curate shows in your home or garage. Write essays for each other. Get together with friends to create publications and put on your own performances. Some get lucky and have the world come to them. The rest of us, we have to make luck happen. Take risks. My thesis show at UCLA wasn't that great. It took me almost a decade after graduation to find my voice and make work that I felt confident in. This only happened because I experimented and made many, many, many terrible artworks. Each work will lead to a new one and eventually will lead to a breakthrough. Make work from a personal place. And I don't mean make autobiographical work. I mean make work that is valuable and meaningful to you, that springs from the unique perspective that you bring to the world. Don't make work that you think others will like or about a topic simply because it's timely. Mind the depths of your lived experience and create work that is authentic and unique to you. And lastly, cultivate empathy. Last year, as I watched the protests in Iran for equality and freedom, I made a painting titled, "I want to live, to cry, to survive, to love, to die." I thought about how these are the basic desires of all humans, regardless of who they are. We all want to live in peace, to cry during good times and bad, to survive and overcome life's hardships, to love freely, and to die with dignity and in peace. Empathy is how we all get to experience these basic human needs. Graduates, a path into arts is truly unique in that we get to use our skills to communicate with the world. Art has the powerful ability to shed light on the injustices of the world, share nuanced ideas, create inclusive spaces, and communicate feelings that are at times hard to verbalize. The world of design, architecture, art, and dance is full of powerful tools that brings about social change and cultural shifts. We are the rare people who get to create meaning through gestures and ideas. We are the ones who create the symbols and icons that historians will study in the future. We shape culture and bring nuance to a world that wants quick answers. We spark joy and thought with our work, and there is nothing that I would rather do. To quote Gerhard Richter, art is the highest form of hope. As you embark on your quests, remember that creativity and hope are entwined. And as long as we are creating, we are bringing light to the world. Let hope and resilience be your guides. Congratulations, class of 2024.
Yeah, woohoo!
Thank you, Amir, for celebrating with us today and for sharing such wise words. I would like to now take the opportunity to thank the members of the faculty here for their efforts and service throughout the 2023-24 academic year. Each of them